When Emily and I got engaged, I truly believed we were creating something solid and lasting. We'd spent 4 years growing together. Though we weren't perfect, I had faith in what we were building. But over time, things began change. First, it was almost unnoticeable. Her phone, once left lying around, was now always in her grip. Messages she used to show me freely became private. The screen turned away when I passed by. Then there was one name that kept popping up. Jake, her ex. Initially, I brushed it off. Old connections sometimes linger. But then came the late night texts, the spontaneous errands that stretched 4 hours, and the strange happiness she radiated after certain calls. Eventually, I couldn't pretend anymore. One night while we sat across from each other at dinner, I finally asked, "Are you seeing Jake again?" Her response threw me off. Emily didn't look startled. She wasn't even sorry. Instead, chill smile crossed her face. "Jake's always been around, David. Don't make this bigger than it is." Her tone cut deep. I asked why he was still in her life, why she kept disappearing with no clear answers. She leaned back, folded her arms, and calmly said, "You're easy to swap out, David." That line hit me harder than I expected. No denial, no apology, just a blunt statement that I could be replaced at any moment. Right then, something in me broke. Realized she didn't value me. I was just a filler until someone better came along. Didn't raise my voice. I didn't create a scene. I just looked at her, really looked. The woman I planned to marry seemed so strangely confident that I'd stay. The ring on her hand, the wedding plans we had, suddenly, it all felt fake. I stood up, paid the bill, and walked away. She sat there watching me leave, as if certain I'd come back begging. But something inside me had shifted. Wasn't going to fight for someone who saw me as expendable. The following days were chaotic. Emily called, texted, even knocked on my door, acting like our conversation never happened. "You're being dramatic," she said. I was joking, but there hadn't been a single trace of humor that way. She knew what she said. I ignored her. Gaslighting. Cancelled our venue, called our families, and began cutting ties. The more distance I created, the clearer things became. Emily wasn't heartbroken. She was just angry she lost control. She wanted me to be quiet, to accept the disrespect. But I didn't. One day Jake himself messaged me, smug and condescending, hinting that what he and Emily had was deeper than I could ever understand. That's when I saw it. They thrived off chaos, of secrecy, manipulation, control. But they weren't prepared for silence. I replied with one line, "Have fun. You deserve each other." Blocked them both and moved on. To people like them, attention is power. Taking that away, that was my win. The aftermath was, with Emily realizing I was done playing along, tried to twist the story. He told mutual friends I'd lost it, that things with Jake weren't serious. But people had seen the truth. They'd noticed her flirting, her disrespect, the way she embarrassed me publicly. Gradually the narrative turned. Friends who once stayed silent reached out, sharing things they had seen but hadn't known how to bring up. The truth started to show. For me, healing didn't come from proving her wrong, it came from finding my worth again. Stopped blaming myself and started focusing on what I deserved. I threw myself into work, picked up old hobbies, and surrounded myself with people who respected loyalty. The space Emily left behind wasn't painful, it was a relief. I had spent so long chasing a future with her that I missed the warning signs. Now, with clarity, life felt lighter, free of the constant guessing. Months later I heard they broke things off. Their spark burned fast and ended fast. Emily reached out again, sending a carefully crafted message saying, "She missed what we had." I didn't answer. There's a special kind of peace in walking away without bitterness or revenge. Emily revealed her true self when she said, "You're easy to replace." What she didn't expect was that I'd replace her too with a stronger, wiser version of myself who no longer tolerated being treated like an option.